So now you've got your sweater in just a bunch of different pieces. Hopefully you got rid of any buttons and tags, cut off any bad seams, and just successfully ripped right through any good seams. And now you're ready to just start pulling it apart. You just find the end somewhere. Sometimes when you're pulling out the first row or two, depending on whether you had to cut the seams at the edge, you might just get 2 or 3 rows that aren't connected to anything, but then at some point it should start going back and forth. I like to wind my balls into center pull balls. It can be useful for a lot of different reasons. One of those reasons is that if your yarn is pretty thin, then you can pull 2 strands from the same ball and just double it up as you go along. It's important to take your time when you're doing this and to pay attention to the yarn, because you want to pay attention and see if there are any snags, either if your seam ripper did catch the yarn at some point, or if the sweater just had any holes in it or something. When I come to a snag in the yarn like this, I actually like to start a new ball. It just preserves the integrity of the ball. I mean, if you have a sweater that had a lot of holes in it, and it doesn't make sense to start a new ball every single time, then you don't have to do that. But that when I do that, it just lets me know that each whole ball that I have is one continuous unbroken piece of yarn, which I prefer to do. Also, for that reason, usually when I am doubling up the yarn when I'm knitting with it, I usually use 2 different balls, just because then I'll get the longest length possible unbroken from 2 pieces of yarn. So those are some things to keep in mind. Some people like to, so I'm not fussy. I don't care that I've got these kinks in my yarn. But some people don't like that, and so some people will actually just wind the yarn into a hank and then soak it. Just soak it in water, don't need to wash it or anything, and then hang it to dry first. You can do that and then wind it into a ball. If you do find yourself with a lot of little bits, like maybe those first couple rows and things like that, I actually tend to save those in a non-center pull ball. So I'll know that that's like shorter lengths of yarn, but I can use those as waste yarn or something as I'm making a sweater or whatever. So that's all there is. You can pull apart your sweaters and turn them into nice little cable-y jumpers for your friends' kids. That's my favorite thing to do, because cotton, of course, is machine washable, easy to care for, and I think the cables look really good on it. Happy unraveling!